We got a lot going on in the pro wrestling world. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about CM Punk possibly returning. We're going to talk about Mercedes Money winning the IWGP Women's title. We're going to talk about Cody Rhodes on his way to WrestleMania. Where do we go for Sami Zayn from here? I mean, there's a lot to dive into. James, let's get into it, man. What's going on? I am Jesse Carter. Joined with me as always, James Pinard Jr. James, we're on episode 127. There's a lot going on. Sorry it took me so long to find that intro video. For some dude, I've been so out of it the past couple of days. It has been, I don't know, man. I guess I just didn't want my weekend to end. I finally had a restful weekend. And I guess I didn't get enough rest. I don't know, man. I've been out of it at work the past couple of days. It's been wild. How you been, dude?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Honestly, just hung out with the family. It was us three this weekend. Me, her son, her mom, and her man. They flew to Denver to go see some family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fun. I told you we'll talk about your stuff in a few here, but yeah, we went to the bowling alley and. I don't know, just like those, just very few moments you have with the family, dude. They're memorable.
Yeah, no, dude, you gotta soak those in, man. It's crazy times in the world we live in today. So yeah, definitely soak in that family time, man. What a wild week of pro wrestling. So we had a week, an interesting week of pro wrestling. You know, we ran into the whole Ariel Helwani thing and Tony Khan. We'll get into that briefly. We heard rumors of WWE being interested in Kenny Omega and not Jay White. So there's some crazy stuff going on. We're going to talk about it. We're going to dive into it. But yeah, man, before we start all that, this week I was just attacked, man, on social media. Look, being a lover of pro wrestling like I am, like I just love pro wrestling. I don't, I like WWE, I like AEW. Yeah, I'll occasionally dip into New Japan, if there's something interesting on that I'm into. Impact, not so much, but if somebody tells me to watch it, I usually tune in and watch it. Whatever. ROH. So, dude, I'm just so sick of seeing stuff on Twitter all the time that's negative, right? And I feel like a lot of these influencers, as I'd like to call them, Jim Cornette, Eric Bischoff, like the people that negatively bash AEW just to bash them for the sake of bashing them, I guess. I don't know, man.
You know Eric's reasons of why he just doesn't like him, and it's because of Tony, for one.
Yeah, dude, it's wild, dude. So I went in and just made a simple comment, because I seen Eric Bischoff like for days on end, just ripping AEW apart, retweeting people's negative tweets and commenting on them, and so I just went in there and I was like, dude, look, if I have to see this on my timeline, I'm gonna say something finally. So I went in there and I was like, hey, don't you think? And I wasn't even coming off rude or anything. I was just, hey, don't you think you're being a little bit harsh? You know what I mean? I understand if it's not your cup of tea, you know what I mean? But a lot of fans are enjoying AEW right now, me included. I like it. And, dude, he like quotes my tweet out and he says, enjoy. And then I replied with, I will enjoy because I like AEW, as do a lot of fans. I just don't understand us promoting negativity in the professional wrestling community. You know what I mean? And then after that tweet, everybody let me have it. Like all these, like hardcore WWE fans, I guess, just let me have it when it came to their beliefs, I guess. A lot of our followers, though, shout out to our followers over on Twitter, man. They all, like, I wasn't commenting too much. Like, I was just kind of letting it happen, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Like I said, my piece. I'm not going to get in a Twitter spat with anybody. I was respectful about it. I didn't I wasn't, he did tweet me a couple of times. Eric Bischoff, that is pronouns, pal.
Yeah.
So Eric,
I'm actually going to the original tweet if I can find it, but yeah, keep going.
okay, yeah. So yeah, Eric Bischoff did quote tweet me a couple of times. But yeah, dude, those fans were just laying in on me. But our followers, though, thankfully, our followers like came to my rescue, and then these poor guys got eaten alive too, man. So I feel bad for all of our followers. But shout out to everybody that came in and said their piece with me, dude. It was interesting, dude. And this was all before Elimination Chamber, by the way. Which by the way, I think the original belief was, because I was coming to the defense of AEW, was that I hate WWE. Not the case. Not the case at all. You know what I mean? I feel like there's different types of wrestling out there, and it doesn't always have to be the WWE formula. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, right? Like, I think Conrad from Everything Pro Wrestling came in and said, like what you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's pretty much
what it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it comes down to, man. Like what you like, but
do you
don't
know
bash
what
people for liking other stuff. Go ahead.
Do you know what the original tweet was? The only one I could see, like the quote one.
The original tweet from me,
or for him that you responded to.
He was just, I think he was going in on Dave Meltzer. But it was originally about like ratings or something. I can't even remember, dude. It was something silly, but it was still just like AEW slander about the ratings. Like, dude, the reason why AEW isn't getting any ratings is because the people that could possibly be tuning in, they don't have a voice for themselves. Instead of taking the time to go and check out the product themselves, they would rather go on Twitter and see a tweet from Jim Cornette, a tweet from Eric Bischoff, and a tweet from all the naysayers that are telling them not to go and watch this stuff.
It's kind of like an approval thing. It's weird.
It's influence, bro. It's influence. So it's like, and that was my main, like, because Chris Williams, part of the Pro Wrestling Shoot podcast, he is one of those WWE hardcores, and he doesn't like AEW, but he's never really given it a chance. You know what I mean? He's just one of those guys that take the word of somebody else or read something online, and then they take that for face value instead of going and watching the product in full for themselves. And it's just it's unfortunate, man, but that's the world of wrestling that we live in today. If it's almost as bad as if somebody sees a Rotten Tomatoes rating. And
you just base it off of that.
Like, the Rotten Tomatoes says it's terrible, so I'm not going to watch it. But that's influence, right? Like, that's influence. So if you're on here influencing people in a negative way, they're just going to take the negative and none of the positives. They're not going to have a voice for themselves. They're not going to go and check out this product for themselves. They are going to go and take your value and use that and not go watch the product. So I encourage everybody to have a voice for themselves, like what you like, as Conrad said, and that's what we'll be at, man. And speaking of Conrad, he's in the chat right now. Everything Pro Wrestling said, yo. CJ Production says, I haven't been here in a while. Yeah, dude, welcome back. Thank you for joining the chat, dude. I appreciate it. Everything Pro Wrestling says, Eric is hating. He never says anything positive anymore. That's the problem, bro, is like...
Yeah, like I see
like I said, it's just bad influence. It's not even influence at this point. It's just like bad influence. I'm not taking anything away from Eric Bischoff because, dude, I loved WCW. I think I even told him that in one of the comments that I commented on his thing. Like, look, I loved WCW.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so I think if I'm not mistaken, there was like a little questionnaire chat thing he had. If I'm not mistaken, and Dave Meltzer came up. Is that what you're talking about?
I can't even remember. Like, honestly,
something about calling Dave Meltzer a fraud, and then you pretty much this is the timeline.
And look, by all means, I'm not backing up Dave Meltzer either in this. It was the whole thing of, well, I think he said something like, well, but that company has, a move named after Dave Meltzer, and then they draw off his 5-star ratings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think it was just a shitty comment to AEW fans and AEW as a whole. So I was just like, dude, enough. Like, come on, man, you're being a bit harsh, is what I was saying. Like, I didn't even I didn't call him no names. I didn't say nothing like that. I was just like, dude, don't you think you're just being a little bit harsh? Like, some people are enjoying this. Yes, it's a small fraction. Yes, it's only 800,000 on a regular. Who cares? That 800,000 is enjoying AEW. They keep coming back. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, so he just replied like enjoy, and you responded. I mean, don't you think you are a bit harsh. I understand if it's not your cup of tea, but there
No,
are.
no, that was before he said enjoy. So
Okay.
he said
Okay.
enjoy
Okay.
after that comment.
Okay. And then he
Yeah.
responded like, "Then you're the audience. You're
Yeah,
their
then
audience."
I'm the audience after I had said
Yeah.
something after he said enjoy. Yeah, so it was a couple back and forths between Eric
Yeah.
Bischoff, but either way, man, it just goes to show you how toxic the professional wrestling community is. And listen, guys, this is not a war. Like, you are allowed to like more than one wrestling company. It just sounds ridiculous. And then you got people calling each other names and like threatening them and everything, dude, over fictional television. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's so ridiculous to me. This is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun.
It's it's just, I mean, it's like I said, it's social media. Social media is evil, you know. Either you like one company, you're hated. You like the other, you're hated. You like both, you're still hated. You're never gonna win. You
Yeah,
know,
it's something else,
it's
bro.
as long as you like it, that's all that matters. You know, I
Exactly.
mean,
And Michael is like an advocate of that too. Like, he's not going to take anybody's advice. Like, oh yeah, you should I didn't like this show. Okay, well, I'm going to watch it for myself. That's one thing that I respect about Michael, is that he's not going to listen to the bull crap, you know what I mean?
yeah.
He's
Which,
going to
look,
go
and
in
then
and,
again, we're all defending. Like, if you tell us our show sucks, we're gonna defend it back. Everyone, you know, everyone does that. You know, I
right.
mean,
And I
it's
understand it if you're actually a part of that show, you know, like Tony Khan coming to the defense of AEW this weekend when he seen Ariel all over SmackDown television. He ended up
and
calling him a
Chamber
fraud.
too.
You're a fraud. You're as legitimate of a reporter as Tony Schiavone. Which he wasn't taking shots at Tony Schiavone. Conrad kind of cleared that up with me.
Yeah,
Originally,
yeah,
I was like, "What did Tony do?" Like, man,
yeah. I
lay
know
off
what he
my
was.
boy, bro. You
Yeah,
know?
I know what he was going for, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's just do what Vince. Well, actually, I wouldn't say do what Vince does, but just keep quiet. You don't need to respond to every single thing. Or he's doing his own thing. You focus on your company, Tony.
What'd you think about this right here?
Yeah,
George
I'm not.
St. Pierre, man.
Yeah, I know he says.
WWE. I was
Yeah,
really excited about this.
yeah. It's always good to see GSP. Obviously, I know a little bit about Ariel Hawani when he was doing his UFC time. I've heard him here and there, and then just out of the blue came into the wrestling stuff like once in a while. And not once, but twice they had to throw the little shots in there. I mean, you know, I'm not surprised. You know, they did
Michael
one.
Cole went hard on his
Michael Cole,
announcing of
yeah,
Ariel Helwani, man.
yeah,
Listen, so I don't know.
and they did it on Raw actually as well with the Miz.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, dude. So listen, I'm gonna go on and say it. I don't blame Ariel for that interview that he had with Tony Khan. I don't, man. Listen, like, a lot of people are gonna throw out the whole Triple H thing. Why didn't you ask the hard questions with Triple H? I get it. I'm not saying that he's not biased, because there's definitely some bias there, but there's bias in every single dirt sheet reporter there is, man. Like, let's get real, right?
Yeah,
You're gonna tell me
see
Brian
it.
Alvarez and Dave Meltzer ain't biased to AEW?
Oh no, you see it all. I mean, you see it back and forth. You know, with either company. Some are going to post WWE stats, and some are going to post AEW stats. It's
Right.
You know, I mean,
So look, I'm not saying that he's not biased, but at the time that Ariel was asking Tony these questions about CM Punk, dude, it's a question that everybody is still asking to this day and want to know what's going on. We seen CM Punk show up this weekend at New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was there watching Mercedes' debut match, or was it her debut match? Yes, it was her debut match
for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
For New Japan, as she won the title. He was there in attendance, man. He was there. And it raised a bunch of eyebrows and boasted a bunch of questions, right? Like, we want to know what is going on with CM Punk. CM Punk could be returning to AEW, but is he returning to AEW, though? Those questions are unanswered because Tony Khan has refused to answer them. So I don't blame Ariel Helwani for asking these questions. Like, dude, I would have asked him too. Like, before the interview, he didn't say you can't ask about Punk, you can't ask about this, you can't ask. You know what I mean? There was none of that. Supposedly, I'm not stating it as fact. That's coming from Ariel. So Ariel says that none of that was said.
Right.
What do you think about that, James?
I mean, you know, he was going to ask the hardcore questions. I mean, all media personnel's asked the hardcore questions. Some don't want to answer, and some do. You know, at the time, you know, Still haven't really heard anything. Are we ever going to hear anything like about the there was an investigation? We're never going to hear anything. I've pushed my way around
what
it.
investigation? That's what I'm saying.
I
What investigation?
I'm assuming who threw blows or how it started. I'm not even sure. We don't know, and at this point, I don't think we're ever going to know. I don't know. I know there was rumors that lawyers were involved, the dog was involved, and I think there was a lot of things that you got to keep it on the down low. I don't know if it would just keep it shush and that's it. You go your own separate ways, and I know he was trying to get his answers. I know it was frustrating for Hawaii to get him. I mean, there's not much you can do from that. I mean, what he said, you're the worst interviewer that I've had on here.
He said he was the worst interview for sure.
Yeah. He said that.
And look, the reason why he said that,
him, and I don't know if there was a disgruntlation, like if he got the hint, like, hey, he told you he's not going to answer them. You should back off of it. It's not going to come out.
Well, here's the thing too. Look, I'm going to say this right now. Okay, when I interview a pro wrestler, I don't want to kayfabe this interview. Do you get what I'm saying? This is behind the scenes stuff. I'm not trying to kayfabe an interview. Nobody wants to hear about your AEW Dynamite tonight. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh no, I get what you're saying.
Not from Tony anyway. I understand Tony's gonna promote it and stuff like that.
Which is understandable. You need to do it.
Go on Busted Open and do your thing, man. That's what he does on Busted Open. Go on Busted Open and promote your Dynamite. That's okay. I'm okay with that. It's a radio show. That's what you go and do. But when you're in an interview with somebody, you expect questions like this. Yeah. And the interviewer does not expect to hear, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I can't answer that over and over and over and over again. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and people
maybe
listening
like a
to these
little
interviews,
discrimination, maybe like, hey, I can't talk because such and such has a lawyer, or I just think he didn't want to air the dirty laundry up there and just say, look, I'm not going to say anything. I mean, and
look, I understand.
I get it. To Awani's point, hey, it's a waste of my time. I came on here. I'm
trying to get an interview about some backstage stuff.
Yeah, I want something out there. At least put some.
I don't want to know about your AEW Dynamite. We all know what's going to happen on Dynamite. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy, dude. It's just crazy. So, obviously, my mom jumped into the chat. She must have seen us on Facebook. We're on Facebook. Hi, Mom. Looks like Mike Smith's in here. Homie Mike Smith, thanks for joining, man. Steve Kelly, welcome back to the chat. He says, is Jay White or Kenny Omega going to WWE? We're going to get into that right after this.
Well, yeah.
CJ Productions says maybe. Stephen Kelly says very, very true. Everything Pro Wrestling says, but you can't keep asking the questions in a different way. Look, you're right. You're right. You can't ask the questions in a different way. But, Conrad, you can't sit there and tell me that you're not frustrated. You being the biggest CM Punk fan of all, you cannot sit here and say that you're not frustrated with not knowing what is going on with CM Punk. Is he coming back? Is the contract out? What investigation, bro? Where is, you know what I mean? What did we investigate? Do you get what I'm saying? It's so weird, dude. It's like the most bizarre thing.
It's a liability thing. I think he just does. Look, I mean, in the end, Hawani understood and respected. Like, look, I don't like what I got at the interview. I knew that was his game plan. He's done that for UFC. He's done it with Dana White. He's done it with all of them. And this was just the reasoning, like Conrad said. He tried to ask it in a different phrase over and over. You got rejected every time. I'm not going to talk about it. No, I don't know if it's the thing with the cahoots of thinking WWE's involved in some way. I know he wasn't involved. Of course, now look where he's at with BT Sports and all that. But I think he just legitimately look, I'm not going to answer them. I'm not going to air the dirty laundry. I'm going to just keep it. I don't have all your answers out there. And that's, that could be a possibility, or just, I don't want to talk about it at all.
Right.
I mean,
this is only popping up Facebook user, so I don't know who's asking this, but why agree to the interview if you ain't trying to answer questions? Exactly, dude. Look, as a starting podcaster, when I first started the Pro Wrestling Shoot, that's all I did was interviews. There were several interviews that did not make the Pro Wrestling Shoot. It did not make Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any of that stuff.
Yeah,
because they were terrible interviews. They didn't want to answer any questions. They wanted to stay kayfabe. Bro, I'm not here to be kayfabed. You know what I mean? We know,
I think
like, fans are smart now. We know what goes on in the business. We want to know stories. We want you to captivate us. If you come on the show, I want to be captivated at this point. Tony Khan has so many stories that he could be telling, but instead he'd rather say, the main event tonight on Dynamite. Bro, we don't care. Like, we don't come on an interview with
I think
that.
it's just that we're demanding, like, hey, we need the answers. We need the answers. That's not how it's gonna roll, brother. It's either you move on. I'm not talking about it. When I think it's ready, I'll talk about it. I mean, there's a lot of things you can say from back in the day, you know, just so much in WWE that they won't ever talk about it. And, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I get it. The whole thing with, and I'm pretty sure it was discussed. Hey, we're not talking about Vince, Hunter and them and the whole company. Hey, we're not talking
And
about.
I get that. That's bias too. Like, I
Now,
understand, dude.
whoever,
Like,
I don't know who talked to or whoever got a hold of Hawani. I don't know if there was like a miscommunication. Like, he can ask that, but I'm not answering it. And I don't know if there was just a whole thing about that. We'll never know about that. I don't even know if Hawani has said anything. Like, who did he talk to? I know not Tony directly.
right.
I think he just, for me, of course, yeah, for Hawani, it's frustrating. You go on there, you want your answers, you're not getting them. That's pretty much your main thing. I think if you're a big time journalist, I think you have other questions focused on. I know that was the biggest thing around. Don't get me wrong. It was a huge thing. I was interested, but I'm not going to fall in the end.
I was more interested in the whole Punk situation than I was Vince McMahon stepping down at the time.
I kind of knew it. I was like, this guy's not going to talk about it. And either it was Punk's side or it's the Bucks or whoever said, we cannot talk about it. We're keeping it on the down low. You say a word, that's it.
All right,
He could have been on the
Drafter, welcome to the chat. He said, would you think the Young Bucks may come back to the WWE? Well, they were only in there for a cup of coffee as jobbers, but and they said with Kenny Omega. We're going to get into that, too. We're going to get into all of that on WWE being interested in certain people, so we're definitely going to talk about that. Everything pro wrestling. At this point, I waited until he's healed. People can't expect AEW to have WWE transparency. WWE is a corporation. AEW is private. I get it, dude. I get it. But you can't tell me that it's not frustrating. Like, I'm frustrated right now. Like, what investigation? Where's Punk going?
You're in the gossip. You want to know. And at the end, you got to.
Well, look, dude. CM Punk was your hottest star on AEW. He's your hottest guy.
Yeah.
Arguably, right? The hottest guy. He's the guy that got you your ratings. AEW fans, like, and they all started picking sides, right? Elite or CM Punk. Like, I was on the Elite side there for a little bit, but now I'm kind of like, all right, well, I'd like to see Punk back. You know what I mean? We waited that long to get CM Punk. I'd like to see him back in the ring and with AEW. I don't want to see him go back to WWE. I'm not interested. So everything pro wrestling says. Also, Nick Khan was his agent. I understand that, dude. I'm not saying that Ariel is not biased. Like, let's get that straight right now. I'm not defending Ariel on saying, oh, he's an unbiased, worldwide renowned.
And not to mention, I think this was the time that Tony was like, I think they sent the emails and they were talking to his people, like for certain employees to try to go to V. And he's like, I'm not giving you squat. You have you have Nick Khan as your client. You think or as your agent. You think I'm going to tell you anything, and then you talk to your boys back there and try to square it and ante shit up. I get it. That's not going to happen. I mean,
Stephen Kelly says, if you're doing an interview, leave the BS out. What BS? That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean leave the BS out? Like, you're talking about the promotion? Because that's what I'm talking about. Nobody wants you to come over here and promote until the end. Like, when an interviewer like myself says, go ahead and plug your stuff, man. If you start plugging AEW Dynamite, cool, man. I'm for it. At the end of the interview. I'm not trying to hear about AEW Dynamite throughout my whole interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that kind of stuff's annoying to me. I won't even listen to an interview like that. It's boring. I don't even know. As soon as Tony Khan comes on Busted Open Radio, I flip it off. Like, because I
don't even know. I could be wrong. Did they ever push it to him and talk about the whole Punk situation on Busted Up Radio? I don't even know if that's ever gotten.
Nope.
And I think they're speculative.
So the people of Busted Open have talked about CM Punk. But when Tony Khan's on there, they will not ask him about CM Punk.
I think it's just a respect thing. Like, look, it's WWE's done the same thing. I mean, I know no one wanted to talk about. I can go back in the day. People wanted to know questions about Owen Hart in that situation. No one wanted to talk.
Right.
And I know this was a whole different ballpark, but you got to understand, this is a privacy thing. I'm not going to put out there. I know. I forgot who said it there. I get it. Oh, us fans, we should demand answers. We need to know. We're not in the company. That's our private. We don't know. We don't know all the
logistics. This is different, bro. If you're trying to tell me about when Miro's coming back and you're not giving me juice on that, cool. I get it. CM Punk is your top guy. It is who everybody was watching.
If Punk is holding him at his throat and saying, "You cannot say a damn word," I got lawyers right there, sitting right there, waiting for you to say something.
Yeah, I understand.
Who knows? He could have been on the edge.
Say that, dude. Say like, look, dude, there are legal things that we cannot even mention anything about CM Punk. Just say that. They have not want to come out and say that. And who knows?
Maybe it's an embarrassment. Hey, I don't want to talk about it. I was there. I had to go through an embarrassment. I'm not talking about squat. You either move on or we're just gonna stay in the standstill. And I get it. It's frustrating from the journalist side, and from Tony's side, you got to look at it. I don't know. We still haven't heard anything. Obviously, we got the Bucks that came back eventually. Kenny Omega, Punk's doing his own thing. And yeah, he showed up the New Japan show. We still don't have answers.
Right.
Will we ever know anything? I don't know who's ever going to talk about it. The Bucks? No. Punk? I wouldn't be surprised if Punk ever talks about it, or they're just, they kept their way and go 50-50. We're not going to talk about it. I mean, the same with WWE. Yeah, I understand. Like people said, oh, well, Helwani never asked Triple H about Vince and all that. And I'm pretty sure that was discussed. We're not talking about that. We don't want the negativity. We don't want all that there. We don't want the bad publicity.
Here's the difference, though. We knew there was a legal thing going on with Vince McMahon. We knew what was going on with Vince McMahon. We don't know what's going on with CM Punk. There's a difference.
And I think that's what he's trying to hide it as much as he can. There was bits and stories. Oh, well, this person got hit with a chair. This person got bit. And he just says, I'm not going to feed to all these damn dirt shits. I'm not going to talk about a thing.
The chat's going nuts right now. We're going to get to everybody in the chat real quick and see what they're saying. First of all, if you're watching the video, guys, live in the chat, go and like the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Helps us in the algorithm. Leave a comment after the video is done, too. That helps us a lot. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere where you can rate and review, if you would kindly do so, helps us a lot, man. Helps us grow. Drifter says, thoughts on AEW Fight Forever getting watered down a bit. I haven't seen confirmation on it being watered down a little bit. I noticed that there used to be blood on the ring mat. Now there's no blood on the ring mat. Hopefully they didn't take that out. Hopefully that's just an option you could turn on in the game. But once again, we don't even got a release date for that, dude. So
no, we don't have a release date. I just saw I think it was like a 4-hour tweet ago. It was like, oh yeah, DLC for WWE is actually coming up. I think sometime in March.
Yeah. Everything Pro Wrestling says Ariel didn't press Triple H like he pressed TK either. I thought his statement afterwards was whack. Right, but I'm not defending the bias right now. That's what I'm saying. I understand he didn't press Triple H like he did TK.
I mean, look,
TK's got bigger problems than Triple H. Triple H has nothing to do with the whole Vince McMahon thing. Vince McMahon had everything to do with that. And once again, we knew he was under investigation. Like that's the whole different thing. We're just being told there's an investigation with CM Punk, but there's no proof of anything.
At this point, you got to bug off. Look, they're not going to talk about it. Move your own way. He's gone. They came back. We're never going to know until they're ready to speak up. That's the bottom line of it.
Drafter says CM Punk will not return to wrestling, in my opinion, because he had a bad experience every time in the locker room with AEW and WWE. Facts. Everything Pro Wrestling says Michael Cole was tripping. Yeah, he was, dude. But that shit was clowning.
You got to give him that. That line was up there. That had to be put out there.
Yeah, it was hilarious. That was a shot for sure. CJ Protection says it's not fair. People need to know about Punk since it's such a hot topic. Exactly, man. Exactly.
You're not in the company though. You're not in this situation. You might say, "Oh, well, I would do it." Not if you're in that position. We don't know what it is. If he just doesn't want to talk about it, you're not in Tony Khan's shoes. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not like pressing on Tony Khan, right? I'm just saying.
I get it. It's a big, juicy story. You should talk about it, and you know how publicity stories get made.
He's your biggest star, James. He's your biggest star. He's the one that got him to $1 million.
I understand it, but if there's so many legal situations going on that you cannot talk about, if you don't want to say one word, because they will.
Then tell me there's legal situations going on that you can't talk about.
Like I said, they might have just told him, you cannot say a word, you cannot even mention it, you can't even say anything like that.
Well, I don't know, man. I've seen some legal bouts before, not once have I
ever
heard of anything like that.
I get it. Us wrestling fans, we want to know all the gossip and crap. That's what we got to the dirt sheets. That's because we want. There's not much you can do about it.
Says, I think, I still don't know who this Facebook user is, but it says, I think people like to stiff Airy because of past things like UFC. I think is what he's talking about. Stephen Kelly says, promotion. Drifter says, thoughts on Enzo Amore because the women who addressed the allegations said that the allegations are fake and she made it up.
Well, that was like years ago, wasn't it? Or was there another one he had?
It might have. I'm not caught up to any of the news on Enzo Amore.
I haven't followed him. I know it was fake, but he got fired because he was.
I know he's in MLW, and that's pretty much everything I know about him.
I don't know anything else besides the one time in WWE, and I heard he's a complete a-hole. That's what I've heard.
Everything Pro Wrestling says, I feel like NDAs were pulled out before everyone left the arena that night. Probably, dude. Yeah, but, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to the time that CM Punk is supposed to be healed. Do you think he's coming back to AEW, James? Because I hope so. Do you want him back?
I mean, his merchandise is on there. I don't know when it's. I don't know if anybody has the contract details. I mean,
well, I'll tell you where his merchandise is not, and that is on the stands at the arenas. They finally took that off. So Stephen Kelly says is the contract tampering between WWE and AEW real? Yeah, I'm sure it is. Like I wouldn't doubt that at all. It's professional wrestling.
Do it. I hate to say it, they both do it. Tony's done it. I know he gets pissed off that WWE's been talking to his guys. Tony, you've done the same thing back. You talked to Aleister Black when he was on that contract thing. I know it was 30 days and they screwed up, but
yeah.
You both do it. I mean, I get it. You're frustrated and you want to send him a warning, but you're playing with the big boys.
I mean, Adam Cole, baby. You can't tell me that nobody was in his ear every time that he was backstage at Dynamite with Britt Baker. You can't tell me that because he was there. What about Jeff Hardy with Matt Hardy? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's the professional wrestling. I'm not shaming anybody who was like trying to talk their way into a new deal. It's pro wrestling. It's pro wrestling. Who cares? The more people swap companies, the better it is for us fans. That's how I look at it. A lot of people, want to pick sides. Like I said on Twitter, you're either WWE or you're AEW. Personally, I'd like to see some AEW guys go to WWE and vice versa. That's just how I roll, man. So it is what it is. Drafter said, just sub. Hey, man, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, definitely. That means a lot to us, man. Everything Pro Wrestling says, Vince is a CEO for publicly traded company that's going to make headlines. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Everything Pro Wrestling also says, I feel TK is trying to smooth stuff over. Imagine you blow it with Punk, then Omega bounces. I would lose my mind. Well, it is what it is. They go through friends. Yep. Yo, I don't know who you are, Facebook user. It just pops up Facebook user, but welcome to the chat, man. Yeah. I appreciate it. Might be Frodo. Everything Pro Wrestling says, all of them do it. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a business-wide thing, man. Before we start getting into who's jumping to WWE, who's leaving AEW, there was a couple of amazing events that happened. Look, Mercedes Moné made her debut and ended up winning the IWGP.
And shout out to her doing the tribute to sorry if I mispronounced the name. It was I believe it was Hannah or
correct, man. I think you're right. Yes.
Yeah, that was what the tribute was, and I haven't watched the match yet. I don't know if you have, but I heard it was phenomenal. She did. I think it was like a 20-minute bout. I believe they were main event, and they, from what I heard, a lot. Even Bayley was in attendance.
I did go back and watch this match. Yeah, Bayley was there. CM Punk was there. Tamina was there. A few other WWE names were there.
I'm not shocked that Punk was there because he was the one that tried to, was backing her and Naomi up with the whole situation.
Eddie Kingston won a match against Jay White, and it was loser leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling now. It wasn't just loser leaves Japan. It was loser leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling. So it's official. Pretty crazy, man. Elimination Chamber was this weekend. It was really good. I really enjoyed this pay-per-view, and that was the one that I caught the full show of, and I didn't get to watch it until after the fact because we were doing this late Valentine's Day date, which was with a group of a whole bunch of friends, and so yeah, we were out until I want to say 9:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah. So I didn't get finished with the Elimination Chamber until I got home. It was probably about 1:30 in the morning when I finished it or something like that. Yeah, but dude, I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. The only thing I didn't like about it was the whole Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley match. That was the only match that I thought
it was kind of head
scratching. Shit the bed on it.
Yeah, it was head scratching, man. Again, it was. I mean, I guess you can give it some like not too ordinary. Like, okay, everyone thought Bobby was gonna win. They're gonna do a 1-1. Instead, they just did the Brock, low blow, and then just beat the hell out of everybody. I thought the women's chamber. I don't know if it was just me, but it felt quick. People were getting eliminated before even all.
And that's
6
because
members.
It was good though. It was not quick. It was actually like I want to say it was like a 30-minute match, James.
No,
it was pretty long.
It was less than 20 minutes.
Was it less?
It was. Let me double check that. I think it was. I think it was
right.
Not longer than. I believe the tag match between Edge and Beth and them was longer.
Okay. Well, dude, that match was really good too, and I did not expect that match to be as good as it was. So it was
19 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay. But still, dude, it was a good time. I thought the women's chamber was amazing. Yeah, dude, it was really good. Obviously, Asuka got the win. We are now going to see Asuka versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. I'm hoping Asuka takes this. I'm just saying,
That's
man,
what I'm thinking.
Time.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know why. I feel like they're gonna give Bianca the rub and she's gonna win it. I don't know why. I just have that slight feeling.
Who knows?
They just brought the character for Asuka, and I don't know. They just brought it, which I wish they would have brought it a lot sooner.
So the men's chamber. This is probably the best elimination chamber I've ever seen. Is that fair to say? Have you seen a better elimination chamber, James? Because I haven't. I can't remember a better elimination chamber.
Best chamber?
Not when it comes to just the chamber matches. I'm saying in a whole, the whole pay-per-view.
Oh, chamber pay-per-view? I think it was. It wasn't over.
That crowd was hot, dude.
Oh, yeah. Montreal, Canada.
Start to finish.
Oh, yeah. Montreal, Canada. You can always count them.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Pay-per-view was from the top to the bottom. Very great. And no kickoff show. I don't even know if they're doing those anymore. But I thought top to bottom, everything was, situated correctly. You had a hot chamber match, then you just, bounced down. You had a odd singles match, then a tag team match, then another chamber, and then the storytelling match, of course.
Yeah, we're going to get into the men's chamber right now.
But yeah, best men's chamber? No.
I actually really enjoyed this men's chamber. This was possibly the greatest United States title match that I have ever seen, and I'm gonna put that down on the table right now. This was possibly the greatest United States title match I have ever seen to date, and it all got ruined by Logan Paul. I feel like we could have done without this moment, right?
Yeah, I think it was like very. I don't know. They've done this before. I get it. Oh, well, he came from the back and ran all the way up instead of popping out from the bottom of the cages, which they don't have no more. I just cringe. The Logan Paul thing, it's cringe. I know that's the WrestleMania, the match they're booking for. The right person won. I thought, I don't know. I think for me, between the men's and the women's, I like it when all 6 participants are in the match and then there's eliminations coming down. Of course, the big guy, the typical thing, he has to do the big spots, crash into the chamber pods. I like, there was a lot of points here. Austin Theory getting his ass kicked with Seth and Gargano beating him up in the same pod. That was
new. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That was new.
Montez Ford. Let's talk about Montez Ford. All right. I've always liked the Street Profits. Okay, I've always thought they were a great team together. Montez specifically stands out for me all the time.
Yeah,
Montez Ford.
They're teasing it. They're going to break.
Montez Ford came into his own and proved that he needs to be a part of this show. I really enjoyed watching Montez Ford, dude. That guy killed it. He was the highlight of the match for me. Watching Montez.
Yeah, he was
so much fun.
Yeah, he's classified when he does single matches. He goes off. It's about time he gets to shine. I mean, his wife, obviously Bianca, is getting all the shine. It's his turn. I can see a lot of the guy has a lot of potential. Angelo Dawkins, I don't know what's going to go on you, brother.
I hope they still tag team.
I feel like they're going to tease it. That they seem like
we need tag teams in WWE. We can't be splitting tag.
That might be the one, but I hope they don't break them up. But that seems like they might.
We got a fiery chat right now, man. There's lots of comments that we got to get to. Facebook user. He says, yeah, it was me. I was talking about, yeah, that's Frodo. So Frodo said, yeah, it was me. I could tell by the way you did, yo. And it's definitely Frodo. Drafter says CM Punk is going to go to Impact. No, please, no. Drafter says also IWGP title women's division is just a disaster. Kyrie for 90 days as champion. No way they for real want to push Sasha or I guess Mercedes Moné. Well, I mean, I'm not as familiar with New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I couldn't be the one to say if their division is not as good right now. Personally, like I just don't. I like I said, I watch New Japan when there's something interesting that happens, and I feel like Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. I'm going to tune into that match.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things, you know what I mean? Conrad hits me up. Conrad over on Everything Pro Wrestling, he is the one to talk to about New Japan. He watches it all the time. Stephen Kelly says, I loved the Chamber this year. Yes. Dude, the Chamber was awesome, man. CJ Production says, thoughts on the Bloodline situation. We're getting into that right after this Chamber talk, man. We're going to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about where we go, where does Sami Zayn go from here. Stephen Kelly says Brock versus Bobby bombed. Yeah, I think we could have done without a DQ finish. That was just so random. I don't know. I expect better out of these two athletes. That's all I'm saying. Like,
and then Brock going off script twice, which I don't know
with the referee. I popped for that. That was
everyone popped. He did it twice, so I don't know if he just. I don't know.
Drafter says the Chamber this year was good, but Sami Zayn and Roman match, it was just emotional. Not that much fighting. Well, yeah, it was all storyline, man. This is a storyline unfolding in front of our eyes. Possibly the greatest storyline in WWE history. If you want to, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I feel like the Bloodline story is possibly
probably one of the best things around in a long time. I will say though, the Punk in Chicago thing was a lot bigger than the Montreal with Sammy. I've seen a lot of people compare it to that. I don't think it's even close.
Drafter says, I would really want to see Josh Alexander in WWE. James?
I don't know much about him. I know he's a very, I know he's an Impact. I think if I'm not mistaken, he's still the Impact World Champion. I've heard so much about him. I know he was, a tag team division wrestler for some time.
Yeah.
I could see it. I mean, he has a potential. You're right now in a great spot.
WWE needs more people for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I could totally see him work his way through NXT and go through from there.
He also says it should have been Rhea versus Bianca at WrestleMania 39. No, sir.
Okay, the only reason I could see people saying it because we were supposed to get that match, and then Rhea had some medical issues, and they just waved it behind. Now you got to understand, it's Charlotte versus Rhea. They fought during the time that we're not going to speak of. This is a rematch, 3 years down the road.
Yes.
And who do you have fight Charlotte? If you put Rhea with Bianca, who do you have fight Charlotte is the question. I'm trying to think who would be suitable. I mean, you could
because the SmackDown women's roster is terrible.
You could, if you wanted to, you could put this Asuka character. Hey, I want my revenge. You beat me for my undefeated streak. That's the only other person I would think. Asuka would still be in there because that was a huge fight too.
Stephen Kelly says men's was the best. The men's Elimination Chamber tag match on 2015 or 2014, I forgot, was the GOAT. So when I'm saying that this was possibly the greatest Elimination Chamber
he meant
of all time, I just meant like as a whole for the pay-per-view. I felt like this is possibly the best card that we have gotten just all around the board. I thought everything was really entertaining. I enjoyed it, and I was tired, dead tired. So that tells you that how much I got into this. Says where the New Day won. Okay, I got you. Mm-hmm. Everything Pro Wrestling says Montez Ford showed out. Yes, he did. Frodo says Theory is still champ. That's his boy right there, Theory. Logan and Seth on WrestleMania 39 is going to be a 4-star match, to be honest. 4-star match. I don't know, man. Seth Rollins is one of the greatest performers in professional wrestling today. I think that he can carry this match. I mean, you got a good match. Listen, as much as I'd hate to admit this, you still got a good match from Logan Paul and Roman Reigns, did you not?
I didn't care for it.
Did you watch it all?
I just didn't. I did, and I was...
Okay, but did you go into it like, this is Logan Paul, who cares?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
felt.
so
I
then
just don't.
that's what
It's
clouded your
it's
judgment then.
it's the thing, but I think like I know this. It's the story like, oh, Steph's going out there. This guy's just here for publicity. He doesn't give a shit about
I
the
don't I don't
about the
know what this
moment.
Facebook user is, but he says 3 guys, 1 pod.
I think he's making fun of the whole thing, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I think Logan's here for the whole. Like I said, I don't know if that was an actual shoot or if he's going into it storyline wise. I mean, this is a guy that does what amateur boxing, and he does like one of those one-off fights, and now you're telling me he's in the company
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I can't with Triple H and this guy.
Grafter says Montez Ford is going to be a good singles competitor. Stephen Kelly says Seth Rollins burned it down. No way, sir. We want the drip god around here. CJ Production says Montez Ford is probably the most entertaining and most talented high flyer I've ever seen. He may be, dude. He's very captivating. I will give him that. I really enjoy Montez Ford. But let's talk about Sami Zayn. We get into the main event, James. We have about 5 minutes before we even get any action going. Sami Zayn enters with the loudest pop. Them singing his old theme song is back, so that's a thing. What an incredible moment for Sami Zayn, dude. This was so amazing. And this was incredible for Roman too. Before Roman even got into the ring, he was at the steps walking into the ring. There was FU Roman chants going on.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's their hometown boy. Sammy, I can't think of a main event. I don't even know if he's ever been in the main event, maybe NXT. This was his time to shine, and he delivered. The match went on gracefully. It went on for like a good, I think 30 plus minutes, 32 minutes and 20 seconds, rightfully so. Everything was there. Do you think it made you believable that, hey, Sammy had a chance? Because I know you were always on the fence, like, oh, I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it.
Look, do I see Sammy being a champion later on? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Do I see him being the champion right now? Did I see him beating Roman Reigns in Montreal? Absolutely not. Not for even a second did they make me believe that Sammy was winning this match. But what they did make me believe was that Jey Uso was about to turn on Roman Reigns. And if that happened, the whole script is thrown in the air at this point, right, James? Because I think the goal is to get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos at WrestleMania 39, and that is a sufficient ending to me for the bloodline. Like the whole Sammy storyline ending and defeating the Usos, that's a good ending to me personally. Yeah. I feel like that's the goal to get there, but as soon as Jey Uso was about to, he was being told to hit Sami Zayn with the chair, and he gave Roman Reigns that look like he was about to hit Roman. And here comes Sammy out of nowhere trying to spear Roman, hits Jey Uso with the spear, which, by the way, I was really shocked that Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso were both in Montreal.
They probably, yeah, I think WWE got like a lot of exempts, like, hey, they're allowed for this one-time event. That's it. Go home after this, leave. Surprised it was Solo Sikoa, and I know Dirt Sheet Radio posted, shout out to them. Always posting news. I don't know if there's anything to it. I don't know if from what I got from Raw, they didn't push anything to it. But when Paul Heyman was involved with Kevin Owens saying that, I don't like Roman Reigns. I love you. I wanted to be with you the whole time. I don't know if that's going to be fed into the storyline of Roman's going to break off from Paul Heyman. So that's also an interesting touch in there.
Yeah, dude. So I think that this is where we go from here. Obviously, Cody Rhodes has punched his ticket into WrestleMania. We are going to be seeing Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Universal title. That's going to happen.
Now, just don't get injured, Cody. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, don't get injured. Yeah. Well, and you know what's good is if he does, there are options now. You know what I mean? So that's what's good about this. Listen, just because you're over doesn't mean you need a title match. I've always said that. Listen, you can be a spectacle without being a champion. You know what I mean?
You can. It has happened for certain superstars where a title got them over. It has happened. Yeah. Not many times, but it has happened.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Let me see here. Where was the comments that I was looking for? Main event was great at Chamber. It was such a good storyline, CJ Productions. Yeah, dude, it was fire, man. It was probably one of the best storylines in professional wrestling. I can't remember. Look, if you put this up against the NWO, I'm going to say this is better than the NWO storyline, just because of how over it is.
And remember, it was supposed to be a 1 month thing. It wasn't supposed to
Yeah,
be 9-10 months.
yeah,
And because he was the
it's
biggest,
insane.
he was the big deal just for little comments of Sammy Uso. That's not very Usy and all that stuff.
Let me see here. If I'm being honest, Sami Zayn will probably win the Intercontinental Championship and then lose it to Solo Sikoa. Possibly. I still think that we're going to probably get, if Cody Rhodes wins the title at Mania, I think that we're getting Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes gives him that title shot. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cody dropped the title to Sami immediately.
I wouldn't. I think if there's when Cody wins the belt, there's got to be that. To me, there's one person he has to lose it to. It has to be Seth.
I see, and I can get behind that too because Seth has never beat him.
I literally saw the stats since Cody Rhodes has been in the company, including pay-per-views and Raw, SmackDowns, whatever house shows. Seth has lost every single match he's fought him. He's 0-22. He's got to get one.
Everything Pro Wrestling
at least
says
ruin the party.
It helps to have more than one person over. Yes. That's the key, man. You don't need to just he's over, we got to put the title on him. No, dude, let's build up all these stars. Remember back in the day, you had The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You had, you know what I mean? You had a whole bunch of people at once that if somebody was hurt, pass the dime to, if Stone Cold was hurt, pass the dime to The Rock. If The Rock was hurt, pass the dime to Triple H. Triple H was hurt, pass the dime to Kurt Angle. You know what I mean? Like they had over people that could carry that role.
Yeah, and this is the one time, and I'm like, hey, they actually have options. They have Sami Zayn there. You got Cody Rhodes. You got other superstars. You can put Seth in the role to take over. This is the long times that's seen the company be like that instead of, hey, we need this one person, and that's it. The Rock thrown in the picture, they handle it gracefully. And honestly, maybe that was probably better.
I was talking with Conrad earlier today, and he said it best. He was like, look, if Sammy is still this over in 2 months, put the title on him. Give it a couple more months. Don't just because he's over right now. How's he going to look in 2 months now that the storyline's over? Where do you go from here once this storyline's over? Right?
And plus, does
WWE have any backup storylines that we're going to be busting out anytime soon? Because this is pretty much all they got.
An experiment with who's going to get a bigger pop. Is Sammy getting a bigger pop, or is Cody getting a bigger pop? If they were in the ring together facing off, who would get the bigger rub? Who would the fans want to go with?
Stephen Kelly says you have so many options now. Well, you have a few at least, and that's all that matters. You need a few because at the one point when Cody first came into WWE, all you had was Cody. There was no other option.
Yeah, and they were just in a, hey, we need to switch things, and they just pushed Edge. Yeah. That was the first thing they did. Hey, Edge, sorry, we're doing this whole judgment thing, which surprisingly it's helped. I'm shocked.
Absolutely, man.
And you should be glad that The Rock's not here because they might have even not gave Cody both belts. They could have, like I said, they could have put it. They were probably going to have split the belts at that time.
Yeah, 100%, dude. It's crazy to me.
Oh, it works out in the end.
Yeah. I'm there with you, man. I'm there with you. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get into our sponsors over at Manscaped, but then when we come back, we are going to talk about the possibility of Kenny Omega, Jay White, and a few others returning or debuting in WWE when we come back right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using our promo code PWShoot to save 20% off plus free shipping. It's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard. Say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Beard Pro Kit. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, this cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. That's right, face grooming doesn't need to be hard. Get 20 different beard lengths in just one guard. Plus it's waterproof, so you can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. The titanium coated T-blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Pro Kit doesn't end there, though. They have created 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. First, there is the beard shampoo and conditioner. You need to remember all your hair is different. All of it. Your beard hair is more coarse and easier to damage than the hair on your head. That's why the kit has made shampoo and conditioner specifically designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, replace natural oils, and promote beard health. Next, the kit has Manscaped Beard Oil, an essential piece for your main facial accessory. No one wants a guy whose beard is brittle and dry. The oil relieves dryness both on the beard and the skin beneath, while adding a little shimmer and shine, making you look extra fine. Cap off the kit with the Beard Balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, moisturizes, and tames for a sculpted look to attract any fellows or dames. The Pro Beard Kit also comes with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So get 20% off plus free shipping with that promo code PWShoot at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you use that promo code PWShoot. Manscaped. Beard hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 lengths. All right, we're back right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Guys, there's a lot of rumors going on about Kenny Omega and Jay White possibly going to the WWE. I want to dive into this so much, but here's the thing, dude. We're going to get into it. But I just want to first mention, WWE is currently they're trying to sell their company, right? If you are under contract, or you were under contract with another company, and you have options out there, AEW, Impact, New Japan Pro Wrestling, is WWE the place you want to go when you're kind of unsure what the future holds?
Yeah, it's in question. Like, you can go there and then, hey, whatever happens, where do you go? Could you possibly be by the Saudis? Do you want to be affiliated with that? I mean, we haven't heard much about the sale in a while. We hear like here and there, like, oh, this person wants, I think Vince wants, reportedly like 8 billion or 8 million or something like that.
9 billion big ones.
So, I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Like you said, Kenny Omega, there was talks about that. His contract is coming up soon. Jay White obviously lost to Eddie Kingston, and he lost in Japan. So he has a lot of options. Nick Aldis was another one. There's talks. I think there was talks like some time ago. The Bucks, so their contracts are coming up as well. I mean, there's so many people on board, but I've heard that the top one that I've heard is either Nick Aldis or Jay White. Those are the top ones that I've heard they want to. The writers for sure have been on top of Jay White. They have something already ready for him and stored if he does come over. But you do make a great statement with that. Do you want to go there without knowing like what's going to go on? I want to get details.
What happens? What happens? Like, is Triple H still gonna be under creative freedom? Is Vince McMahon still gonna be? Is he gonna put himself into power now? And what are we gonna do? First of all, Jay White, I could see him getting some good use in an NXT. I don't see Jay White getting a huge pop from WWE fans, man. You've seen how Karrion Kross got the reaction. I feel like Jay White is the same thing. Now, Kenny Omega would get a huge reaction because he's a lot more known than a Jay White per se.
I think he would get the AJ Styles rub in my look.
Yes, he would. He would, exactly. And if Kenny Omega does come to WWE, he's coming there for one reason and one reason only. He wants that match with AJ Styles. AJ Styles is not going to be around for much longer. He's going to be retiring. He's said this publicly lots of times. Now listen, Kenny Omega's contract is running up soon. Kenny Omega is currently working on the AEW Fight Forever video game right now. How do you just up and leave, for one, and for two, because of the injury, I do believe Tony Khan can put a lock on his contract for much longer and have him make up the dates of the injury, correct?
I think so. Just like WWE's way of doing the same thing.
So just because his contract is expiring or coming up here soon, doesn't mean that he's going anywhere. Now, if we got CM Punk back, if that was the creative direction and Kenny Omega's just like, all right, I'm out. I'm going to go to WWE. Take note, this is a guy that said he doesn't need a WWE. to thrive for his career. He never cared about going to WWE from the start. The only reason he'd be going to WWE is to face AJ Styles. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to go to WWE, to face AJ Styles, I think the only way we get Kenny Omega or a Jay White or anybody else from AEW is to make Cody Rhodes look good at WrestleMania. There's a lot of people still talking about Roman Reigns possibly beating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. This is a make or break situation for the WWE. Do you want more guys to trust you from AEW to come over after their contracts are over? I suggest taking care of the one dude that did come over, which is Cody Rhodes from the AEW, and putting the straps on him, man, because that's the only way that these guys are going to say, hey, check it out. They took care of my friend. Why wouldn't they take care of me? You know what I'm saying? So, but once again, Kenny Omega, I do not think is coming to WWE. I don't see that happening. Jay White, maybe, but WWE is interested in Kenny Omega. That is the reports anyway.
Yeah. And I feel like as close as, I mean, look, he started with AEW. You know, with him, you had Cody, you had the Bucks. Yes, Cody left on his own terms, and his was understandable for his father. Kenny, does he need it in his career? No, because he has a Hall of Fame career. Bucks, you know, as much as I know there was talks that they might go over there, and there was people that got sent, they'll never go over there. They'll never go over there. I can't ever see it. They've even publicly have said a number of times. Now, Kenny, he does his own thing. He's a singles competitor. Yes, he's known for trios and tagging with so many people.
Right.
He would be, I guess he would be put in estimation, probably like a Brock Lesnar contract in a way. He's that big of a damn star.
For Kenny Omega?
I think they would try something with that because he doesn't have much ring time in him left, not compared to Cody Rhodes, I don't think.
Kenny Omega?
I don't think so.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't think so.
Drafter says Disney should buy WWE because imagine those theme parks, bro. Dude, I've been saying it since the beginning. I was just before we went on the air, I was telling James I'm trying to go. James lives right next to Disneyland. He has like the Disneyland passes, everything. Me and my wife were talking about going to Disneyland now. We were gonna go to San Francisco, but I think we're talking about going to Disneyland now. Dude, I couldn't imagine going to Suplex City Park, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That would be so much fun. I think that Disney could do some good things with it, but that's I don't know. Maybe I might get some hate for that. Everything Pro Wrestling says, who gets AJ reaction, Omega or Switchblade? I think James was talking about Omega.
Yeah, no, Omega.
Kenny Omega would get the AJ Styles reaction.
Yeah, he's a huge damn star. Switchblade, you know, he's been really more Japan based. He has a couple appearances here and there for Impact, just like AJ was known for TNA for the longest time.
Whoa, hold on. Everything Pro Wrestling at the bottom says theme parks getting shut down every time a scandal comes out, bro. He's going too hard right now. That's too much, man. That's too much. James ain't even laughing at that because he's got them expensive Disney passes. That's funny to me.
I can actually see that. Let's say you name it right off someone. Oh, hey, they did something like this. Oh, we got to shut that. We got to change that ride real quick. We can't
name that ride the NDA, brother.
NDA. Look, they're getting rid of Splash Mountain because of the past. You know, because of certain things. Yeah. Could you imagine having them name something like, I don't know. I don't want to put somebody's name out there, but if someone has a scandal and you have a name right, you know.
Oh God, no.
Suplex City. Like the Suplex City, Brock does something. Oh, hey, we got to change everything. We can't.
Yeah, the whole thing is shut down now.
Mickey Mouse affiliated with Brock? No, can't happen.
Drafter says, I hope Kenny Omega versus AJ Styles is not going to be Edge versus AJ like in WrestleMania 38. I don't think that we would get that at all. Not out of AJ and Kenny Omega. I think it would be a whole different situation.
Kenny is 39. What is AJ?
Everything Pro Wrestling says, I think a lawyer could argue if he was working on the video game that he was still technically working. So how could you add time to his contract? Just food for thought. Well, you got something there. I never even thought about that. So, but here's the thing. Do you think that Kenny would leave? Like I was talking to Conrad earlier too. We were just talking about just random wrestling stuff. And, listen, man, if one of these EVPs leave, don't be putting any more wrestlers in EVP roles.
No,
There's just like, you know what I mean? We've only had one person leave AEW to go to WWE. It was an EVP. Could you imagine the next person to leave AEW and go to WWE? It's another EVP.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is going on, brother?
I couldn't
going
see the
on?
Bucks, and they've stated a number of times we do not want to go there because they have tarnished tag team division wrestling so bad. You think they want even yes, granted they would probably put in their contract and they would agree with them. We can never split you as a tag team. They've never turned on one another. You know, you can have matches one-on-one once in a while, but they would never ever do that.
Drafter says Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega and WrestleMania Backlash could happen if Kenny comes to WWE and Cody and Kenny have a mini feud. True. Yeah, they could do that.
But do I see Cody? Or I mean, Omega going over there? I know Cody did it, and he has his reasons why, and of course for his father, which gratefully so, he needed to do that.
Yeah, you know? He's got an agenda.
Kenny, I can't see him now. Jay White and all them, I can see them getting Nick out.
Well, if you can't see Kenny just because you feel like he doesn't have a reason to go there, bro, I've said this numerous times.
Plus, his injury history is horrible.
Okay, but you're going to be taken care of in WWE. They're not going to let you do all the crazy stuff that you did in AEW. Like
look, he would be to me. He would be an expectable case. I still think he would be like in a
James. What's the best wrestling event that you could possibly wrestle on?
I mean, WrestleMania.
What wrestler would not want their WrestleMania moment?
Oh, of course. That's like the Super Bowl of wrestling.
It's the Super Bowl, man.
No,
it's the Super Bowl. That's all the reason you need.
No,
in my mind.
Yeah, it depends. If that's the only thing I think, if it would be very limited dates for Kenny. That's what I think. That's why a lot of wrestlers, some have said it. Hey, we want to go to AEW because our schedules are not horrible. We got families to go see. We have,
right.
We're not on the road like 24/7, hey, do Raw. And then, hey, you have a house show. Hey, you have an appearance. You got to go to NXT. Hey, you got this signing,
right.
It's a lot for some of these guys. Now, a lot of them in AEW, I mean, Matt Hardy can say it. He's been there for years and he loves it because of course he has 5-6 kids. Kenny, I know, is a whole different ballpark, and don't get me wrong. He has the boys over there, that he, is cool with. I just think AEW is in his heart. Would he ever leave it? I mean, there could be a chance, but if he does, maybe years down the road and on a limited contract.
Okay. Drafter says that they could still be a miracle. CM Punk could still be an AEW Fight Forever like Kalisto in WWE 2K22. I believe CM Punk is still in AEW Fight Forever. I don't think they removed him. So
his merchandise is still there. I think they're just
you can still get AEW or you can still get CM Punk merch on AEW shop. So I don't see why they would remove him. More people will leave AEW to go to WWE, Conrad says, and then he also says, I'm willing to bet Punk is in. Drafter says, when is the next live stream? Because I will be there. So, sir, we live stream every single Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. It's all on the same thing. So yeah, that's when we do our live streams. And if you don't catch the live stream, you can catch the audio version of this over on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, and Spotify. I appreciate you jumping in the stream though, man. We really enjoy the conversation with everybody, especially the engagement. Man, it's really good. It helps us a lot. Drafter says Velveteen Dream. Ooh, we're not gonna bring up that, buddy. Everything Pro Wrestling says. Omega goes, chances Bucks bounce. If Omega goes, and it depends on the situation, man.
It depends on they would have a lot of demands to me. They need a functioning tag team division, and it's not there. And
here's the thing: do the Young Bucks have as much value as a Kenny Omega? Because I don't think they do. I really do not believe that. I love the Young Bucks. I love Kenny Omega, but I don't think that the Young Bucks have as much value as Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, you could put in the headline match at WrestleMania. What are you going to do with the Young Bucks? Tag team.
Yeah, I mean, tag teams. I mean,
when's the last time a tag team match main event at WrestleMania?
Say that the Usos have always been in that spot. Like, oh, well, they're just the Usos. They're not up there. I mean, you could put them up there.
Yeah.
Because you always hear their name and you always hear the Usos because they kind of have somewhat similar stag tiles with the whole super kicks and all that.
Yeah. Dude, look, I love the Bucks. Like I said, the situation being, if CM Punk comes back and and all the beef is real, and we just cannot work with this guy anymore. If the Young Bucks and Omega leave, I can see a lot more people leaving AEW at that point because those guys brought everybody to AEW. So I don't know. I think that would be a dangerous situation for a Tony Khan. I don't think a lot of people want to be signed contracts at that point. CJ Productions says this is such an underrated channel. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, dude. That's amazing of you to say. Yeah, that makes me feel good, man. Everything Pro Wrestling says. How much does Punk factor? Also, if he is a factor, what do you do if you were Tony? Well, you're gonna have to start playing dirty at that point. If you're Tony Khan and all these wrestlers want to jump ship all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
You better put your Vince McMahon foot down.
Yeah. I
mean,
you're gonna have to put your Vince McMahon pants on.
And I'm not saying it's right because it was never right in the first place. But I mean, Tony would probably do it back.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I mean. Like the Bucks and Kenny Omega leaving AEW would be a very serious situation for Tony Khan.
I think to me it's very
serious,
very slim because it was talks. Look, they did the same talks of John Moxley, he's gonna go back to WWE. Bam, they signed him with a 5-year contract.
Yep.
I can't see the Bucks. They've just numbered it a number of times. Till your tag team division is up there, we'll go there. It's not there. You have one tag team that's holding both belts because there's no other tag teams. Yeah, they threw some squirrely ones.
You're gonna have to throw Sammy and KO together in order to get those titles off.
You can't have Sheamus and McIntyre and be called the Banger Bros for God's sakes and make a tag team. It's ridiculous.
It still pops me every time, man.
It's ridiculous. That's probably
what a tremendous name. Why can't they call them the Bang Bros, bro?
You know why.
Okay, yeah, we won't get into that on YouTube. We'll get flagged.
But
Drafter says Usos versus Young Bucks are gonna be a super kick fest. Yeah, dude. I really want to see that match. I've always wanted to see Usos versus the Young Bucks. That would be a dream match for sure. Steve Kelly says, why would AEW? I'm sorry. Why would AEW let Young Bucks go? It's not about AEW letting them go. It's about their contract coming up and them making a decision where they want to go.
I think the big thing is they have families and they're very, very top about it. We've heard it a number of times on being the elite.
Yeah. Can't see them. So would Darby leave AEW? I don't think so. I don't think Darby would leave.
No, they gave him a lot of opportunities. It helps. I mean, Darby was practically homeless, and this was an uprising for him.
Yeah, bro. He says, nah, bro, the Banger Bros, that's wild.
I think Michael Cole called them that, and it was going on for weeks, and then they said, hey, we got to change the name. God. I forgot what their name was.
I don't know, dude, but that's classic. That is some classic. That's like straight WWE right there. Everything Pro Wrestling says EVP Jeff Jarrett moving in. Jeff Jarrett has entered the chat. JERRE.
Rest in peace to his father, but Jesus, I can't.
Dude, come on, let's talk about Jeff Jarrett.
No.
Are you not digging what Jeff Jarrett's doing? You can't leave the podcast. Come on, Jeff Jarrett's been entertaining for me.
I was never a Jeff Jarrett fan. I booed him out of the building. Did not like him. Never did.
Drifter says Darby Allin is Jeff Hardy, but without all the pineapple juice. My safe word is pineapple juice. Yeah, dude.
My question is, what's going on with Jeff? We haven't heard nothing about Jeff. I mean, hopefully he's doing all right.
Yeah. Prayers up for him, man. CJ Productions says Sammy and KO should actually be a tag team now that Sammy is not in the bloodline anymore. I agree, man, but here's my thing with that, and I'm not taking anything away from the tag ability because I think the team together, I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. But dude, I've always been an advocate for Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is like one of those dudes that I just want to see at the top. I just want to see him succeed. He's such a good wrestler. He's I don't know. I just relate to this guy, man. I really enjoy Kevin Owens. He's one of my favorite wrestlers.
For Kevin Owens, most respect to Sami Zayn and Kevin. They pretty much grew apart in independent wrestling, come up to WWE. Even NXT was fun seeing him when Sammy was the NXT champion and Kevin just whooped the hell out of him. But for Kevin being a big guy, of course, being a big guy myself, seeing him do all this and getting criticized of, you can't do that, you're not acrobatic. Dude, he's done so much in this industry. He's proved
he's
worth.
amazing. And he's believable. To me, he's
Being
believable.
world champion. They literally had a storyline. He was like the chosen one with Triple H and what was it called? The Authority and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was great, man.
Sammy's in the biggest, spotlight he's been in the damn years he's been in the company.
Drifter says Jeff Hardy is just in the climax of the neither portal. Dude, we're using words like pineapple juice, climax, and banger bros. We're not going to be allowed on YouTube next week.
WWE's been worse. Banger bros is not even the worst. We've heard a lot worse.
RSTV, welcome to the chat, man. I don't know if you've been in there this whole time, man. He's usually here every single week. I'm glad to have you. He says AEW Revolution predictions. When is Revolution?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Next week we will do our predictions.
I think it's
we will do predictions show next week. It is too soon to have predictions just because we don't have all the matches right now. But give us one more week. Next week we'll talk some AEW Revolution for sure. I'm excited for that pay-per-view. Yes. I'm not excited for the main event, but I'm excited for the pay-per-view. I just don't like Iron Man matches. So Stephen Kelly says Double J is hilarious right now. Thank you, Stephen. Yes, I know. Drifter says, oh wait, no, I already read that one. He gave me laughing again. Steve Kelly says, fight Owens, fight. Yes. Dude, I love Kevin Owens, man. He's one of my favorite. Kevin Owens does deserve to be at the top. He does not get enough recognition. Agreed, man. 100%. Yeah. 100%.
No, the question there, I'm pretty sure Sami and KO will win the titles at Mania. What do you do with the Usos? I mean, what do you do?
Wait a second. Drifter just says, I just realized Jinder Mahal and Braun Breaker are fighting for the NXT championship today.
Yeah, he's in NXT, Jinder Mahal. I mean, they're just having Braun fight everybody at this point until he goes to the main roster, which is Mania's coming up, bro. He's gonna eventually lose the belt to somebody.
Are you ready for a Jinder Mahal title reign again?
I don't care. I don't watch NXT, so
he's like, let it happen. I don't care.
I don't care. I don't know if NXT is going on the India tour like they were for. I don't think so.
He's a little blunt tonight, folks. He's a little blunt. Steve Kelly says Revolution is March 5th. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, dude. So yeah,
this guy right here was the biggest Maharaja fan during that title reign.
Oh yeah, super big fan of Jinder Mahal.
You had the T-shirt.
I literally stopped watching WWE when he won the title. Like I stopped watching until he lost it. I was done.
That theme song was pretty good though, but everything else sucked.
You were dancing to that as he was coming down to the ring, James. Come on, don't fool yourself.
Yeah, I was burning his shirt.
Let me see here. Steve Kelly says, I will fight Breaker. You'll probably get beat, buddy. NXT is just Impact, but WWE edition. I would go as far to say his Impact is a little better than NXT right now. Everything Pro Wrestling says the Pro Wrestling shoot over NXT. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I would hope so, man. I just can't watch that show, dude. It's not mine. As a matter of fact,
it's not really how it used to be. I guess it's just all the damn changes. I think when Vince took it over, I'm like, oh, that's it.
Before we get out of here, we're going to talk a little bit of AEW Dynamite, which is tomorrow night. We're going to get into that, man. That's going to be the last subject of the podcast today. But before we get to that, everybody has been seeing comments pop up for everything pro wrestling. Now you will get to see a face to all these comments. We will be right back right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot.
Pro Wrestling Shoot listeners, this is Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling, here to let you know that Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And every Monday, we are live on YouTube with our classic show, Clash of the Podcast, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to myself and my tag team partner, Sean Hubbard of Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, talk all the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Also on our YouTube channel, live every Wednesday following AEW Dynamite, myself and Derek bring you the live post-show coverage. Make sure you guys are tuned in to check us out. And did I mention we are also on audio platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Now, let's get back to listening to the guys of the Pro Wrestling Shoot.
We're back right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Everybody, that is Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling. You heard the ad. Go and check them out after AEW Dynamite tomorrow night right here on YouTube. Search Everything Pro Wrestling or EPW Show. They'll pop up. They got a live chat. Best review in the game for AEW. Cannot stress that enough, man. Fun show. Live chat, just like this chat tonight. This is a really live chat tonight, actually. I really appreciate it, guys. This is awesome. So, yeah. You guys want to have some fun, talk some AEW, get into some shenanigans over there. Use your safe word pineapple juice over in his stream. It's going to be a good time, man. It's going to be a good time. Conrad says thank you. No problem, man. My pleasure. Guys, AEW Dynamite tomorrow night live on TBS. We got a special announcement from Tony Khan, dude. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? But before we get to that, there was an announcement made last week after Dynamite. Finally, Mark Briscoe is All Elite. How you feeling about this, James?
Dude, it's wonderful to see this. And he even teased it that he's going to, obviously he's a singles competitor. Rest in peace to Jay. He says he wants to go after the All Atlantic Championship, of what I've heard.
Perfect.
I think it's a perfect role for him. They're already getting the storylines. I'm just glad he's in there. I'm glad he's in there. And as for the announcement, it could be. I know they filed a trademark for AEW Collisions. I know that was one.
So the announcement's not CM Punk. We're gonna get that straight right now, right? It's not CM Punk.
I don't think it is. A lot of people said, "Oh, well, what if it's Punk?" I don't think.
You think it's gonna be? I don't. It's gonna be some stupid show coming, right?
I think it's
a reality series or whatever.
I don't know. It's either that. I think it could be a tournament. Your
or
favorite.
More ROH news.
I mean, it could. I mean, well. He did, obviously. What is it? March 1st, the ROH stuff is going on there. They're having their tapings this February, or this Friday and Saturday, something like that. So it could be something pertaining to the Ring of Honor or the Ring of Honor tag titles. I don't know if they're doing anything with them. Could be an announcement for the Ring of Honor show that's in late March. There's so many possibilities you can do with this. I don't know. Or you just can say Ariel Hawani's a fraud and that's it. Walk out.
That would be a great announcement. I would be more for that than any more ROH stuff.
When you pop up the graphic, I can tell you when Tony Schiavone comes out there, there's going to be some crap story.
That meme where he's like,
what? Right on the Jericho Cruise. I think that was on the Jericho Cruise.
Yeah, it was on the Jericho Cruise, dude. That is the best GIF ever. So Drifter says Impact Tag Team roster is just going to be stale without the Briscoes. Sad. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe, by the way. Yes, I do believe you were talking about the ROH roster, but were they on Impact too? It might have been on Impact.
Yeah, they were on Impact for some time.
Yeah, dude. That tag team is going to be forever missed. It was one of the greatest tag teams of our generation for sure.
Yeah.
Let me see here. RSTV says
vacating. I wouldn't say
ROH.
Vacate. I wouldn't say vacate. I think they're going to retire them and do something
different
with it. Yeah, or some sort of tourney, like I don't know what like they did for Owen Hart. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Drafter says, so wait, is Everything Pro Wrestling Today live stream? No, sir. Tomorrow, right after, immediately following Dynamite. I do believe it's 7:05 Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Pacific, 10:05 p.m. Pacific Standard or Eastern Standard Time. So yes, go and check them out. Yes, immediately after Dynamite. Fun stream, man. Go and check them out. I don't always get to check the live streams out, but when I don't check them out, they're my first go-to in the morning on Apple Podcast or Google Podcast or whatever I'm listening to podcasts on that
after
day.
listening to 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, I don't listen to that podcast. I don't listen to any of Conrad Thompson. There's only one good Conrad in the podcasting game, and that is our boy over here in Everything Pro Wrestling. There's only one of the other Conrad's podcasts I listen to, and that is What Happened When with Tony Schiavone. Just because I love Tony Schiavone so much. He's my boy. So, yeah, that's what it is. Drifter says, I will come. There you go, man. Who guys know JD from New York?
Yeah, he's a loudmouth. That's all I can say. He's a loudmouth.
Yeah. It's not my type of follow on Twitter personally, but if that's what
he's a rager, I can say that he's a big rager, and I've heard nothing but negativity from him. That's all I can say. But he loves AEW. I've seen it a number of times.
Yeah, yeah.
That's about it. I don't follow him.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. CJ Produce, Everything Pro Wrestling. I'll try to be there. There you go, man. Just got you a couple more in your stream.
You better hope it's not snowing in Jacksonville like it was in Montreal.
Hey guys, just let their chat know that the Pro Wrestling Shoot sent you, and before you say that, just say that your safe word is pineapple juice. That is the code to get in the stream.
Banger Bros.
Drafter says a lot of 205 Live wrestlers flopped or are degenerates. Yeah, it's
that
205.
whole show flopped.
Yeah, the whole show was something else, man. Steve Kelly says tonight's chat was awesome. Thanks, Steven. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Guys, tomorrow night, AEW Dynamite, we got a pretty stacked card. It's looking pretty good to me. I'll let you guys be the judge of it. Me personally, look, I liked last week's show, and I seen last week's show get a lot of negative reviews online. But personally, I enjoyed last week's show.
Surprisingly, it went by quick, but because they had so many people. I think they had 6 or 7 matches. Then the Lucha Brothers just got added the last minute just to come in and help someone else.
It was a lot, man. It was a lot.
I would say the Dynamite before that I think was better with the whole thing with MJF doing his story. They got a lot of police calls and whatnot.
Agree. I'd agree to that.
I think the crowd wasn't that great. I can say that. I think it was Laredo,
Texas. Yeah, we got to get out of Texas, guys. I mean,
El Paso was fine.
As much as I love Texas, we got to get AEW out of there because those crowds are just not as hype. Sky Blue versus Saraya. That's going to be interesting.
There's
John Moxley versus Evil Uno. What?
Okay. Did you know? Okay, did you not watch Dynamite?
Yeah, I watched it, but come on.
Okay,
we're doing this.
Yeah, but the reason he
came what out. We're doing.
Hey, wait. But after what I think they're teasing something with the Dark Order. It's actually going to be the Dark Order. The way they came out and defeated Hangman Page, and you just slapped the hell out of John Moxley. And this is not their goofy Dark Order side. This is them. Hey, you can't talk shit about this guy. This was actually, for once, I was like, hey, this is the evil one we're getting. Yeah. And I think he posted, he's like, you got to effing kill me, John Moxley, to beat me. And this is not your typical evil Uno.
Well, we'll have to see what happens, man. Drafter says, I invented pineapple juice. Yes, you did tonight. You invented it. I will give you the patent, sir. That is now going to be our safe word over here at the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I thank you for that. Everything Pro Wrestling says Young Jeezy is the snowman, James. Steve Kelly says, I signed with AEW, so I am all elite. Sir, get me tickets. Facebook user, yeah, you're welcome. I don't know which one that is. That's the problem with Facebook and StreamYard. For some reason, they won't put their names in. It's really weird. It's really weird.
Go to the chat.
Thanks for this good time. I enjoyed all of it. You're welcome, man. Thank you for coming, man. You guys make this better for us. So, Aussie Open in the tag battle royal. Yes, we're gonna get into that too. The Lucha Bros are gonna win the battle royal. Let me see here. Hey, I'm going to change my username to Minnie. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. EVP is Mondays and Wednesdays. Oh, Everything Pro Wrestling, I think is what he's trying to say, is Mondays and Wednesdays. Yes. So they have a show, Clash of the Podcast, Mondays at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time over on YouTube. So you can check them out over there too. That is not an AEW review. That is a fun podcast too with him and his co-host. It's pretty fun to watch. So go and check them out. Go and support these guys, man. Go and support independent podcasters and stay away from those mainstream guys that want to lie to you and give you false information on what wrestling products are good. Make your own mind up, right? Make your own mind up. So we also got Tony Schiavone will interview Christian Cage now that we know Christian Cage is back, and I'm expecting some shenanigans during this, like you said, James.
Yeah. I see a lot of people bash on Schiavone, like, oh, what do you mean? How is he an interview? He's just gonna introduce Christian Cage and then he leaves the ring and hands the mic to Christian Cage.
Watch them announce him as a journalist.
Oh yeah, the world-renowned journalist Tony Schiavone.
That would be hilarious.
I would not be surprised.
I'm all for it.
I would not be surprised if that's thrown there. Something maybe the Acclaim would throw some little thing in there.
Speaking of the Acclaimed versus Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. What do you think about this one?
I mean, you got to. Yeah, I'm not really big. I don't know. I got over the whole like ever since MJF came with the whole what was it what the hell was the group cup the firm. I haven't really seen much with him. I know what's his name got injured by Hook, and the Hook's not gonna be on TV for a month. I think he was suspended. The Acclaim easy win. They're gonna get the W out there. I'm kind of interested. I mean, like I said, John Moxley and Evil Uno. Let's see what they can do because we didn't get no Dark Order on BT. And the way they were pushing it, I think they might be a heel turn with the Dark Order. That's what they're trying to push it.
They need to do something with the Dark Order because
it
they
seems
are
very dark
stale
because
right now.
If you watched how they came out there and Hangman wasn't happy they came out and he just got right into Moxley's face and slapped him.
Do you think this is the main event?
No, what would be the main event?
So you got Orange Cassidy putting the AEW All Atlantic Championship on the line against Willer Yuta as well. That could be the main event, but
that's
I think John Moxley and Evil Uno maybe
that might be the main event. I think that might be the main event because there might be something more than we think. That's what I think. Okay. John Moxley and Evil Uno, and yeah. Believe Conrad pointed this earlier. I know a lot of people noted this. Yeah, Aussie Open is in the Battle Royal.
Okay, so they're not on the flyer right here. That's nice.
I think, yeah. Are they not on that one?
Or are they? I don't know. It's small on
my screen.
I
see them.
Let me full screen this.
Yeah, they're right on the top.
Oh, yeah,
right
I see
corner.
them. I see them.
You got a lot of interesting things. I would say I didn't like how the Acclaim were invoking a rematch clause. I'm like, that's a WWE thing. I don't know if that was just mocking them. Don't know what the hell that was about.
Yeah.
Who would you pick out of that Battle Royal to win it, to be inserted?
Bro, it's the Lucha Bros. For me, always.
Every day, I wouldn't say that, but then Aussie Open just coming for the one time? I don't know. I feel like they might just throw them in there.
Every day, all day, Lucha Bros. That's my favorite tag team.
I mean, I know they got their visa issues, okay, and then, okay, here's one more. Who is going to be the fourth tag team that gets into that tag team match at Revolution?
There's so who's all in it?
It's the Acclaim, obviously the Guns, whoever wins the Battle Royal, and then there's one more. There's going to be one more team.
Isn't there a Revolution tag team Battle Royal at Revolution?
I don't think. I'm not sure. I don't know if there was.
Okay, I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure. As for Orange,
could I go as far as to say FTR?
That's what everyone speculated, especially with the photo of the Guns having the tequila, the same exact ones they drink. Yeah. We haven't seen them in a while. They need to win the AEW gold, but I know the Guns, they're gonna, they need the rub too. So
This card looks really interesting to me. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I'm gonna be watching tomorrow night. It also says we'll be hearing from Bryan Danielson.
Here's one. I know this is not on here. There might be some. We always get the Bucks.
I'm surprised you didn't drive to this. This is in Phoenix.
I'm not going to Phoenix.
Why not?
I hated Arizona.
How far are you? You're like 2 hours away from Phoenix, aren't you?
Phoenix? No, I think it's the same distance for Vegas. I think it's like 4 or 5.
4 hours? Come on, bro. I drive 4 hours to go to Dynamite for Seattle.
I'm good. I'm good.
So lazy, bro.
That's fine.
So lazy.
Here's one for you. I'm surprised they're not on the card. There's no mentions. I know they'll probably be on the show. What do you think about the whole thing? You finally get your time to shine. The Elite, and the House of Black. What do you think about all that? I haven't asked you about any of this.
I'm excited for the House of Black to finally be doing something. That's all I can say. I'm really excited for the House of Black because I feel like they're going to be the ones to take the titles off the Elite. But then where do you go from there? There's no other trios that matter. We need to get rid of these trios.
Death Triangle, you bring them back. I know Pac has his visa issues too, I think. Start that all again? I don't know.
That's what I mean. What are you going to do? Just have two teams? We're doing a WWE here. Our tag team roster is lacking. Ever since the 6-man has come in, we have now lost our tag division. AEW had the most stacked tag division at one point.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming up. I mean, you had the Bucks fight the same team twice. That was kind of odd to me, but I get it. I guess to bring the House of Black in, I don't know. At least they're doing something with the House of Black. I mean, see what they can do with it. I mean, I don't know. I guess everything might settle after the pay-per-view. in the
Yeah,
long
this
run.
is obviously this is all building up. We still got 2 weeks for Revolution, so everything pro wrestling says turtlenecks. Drafter says Shinsuke Nakamura and AEW, bro.
Okay.
Imagine though. Go. What do you have something to say, James?
Oh no, Conrad. Yeah, so there's a casino tag team battle royal the following week. So,
Oh, okay. So there you go. We'll see what happens. Fire Drafter also said no Orange or Yuta are the main events. Orange and Yuta.
I
sorry
mean,
about that.
if you do,
Orange
the
and
only thing
Yuta
I
are
could
the main event.
think, Jared and them are getting involved. When obviously, rest in peace to his father, Tony. I think went to the funeral. I think it was today.
FTR is going to be the 4th team. What was Tony Khan thinking with the trios tag team championships? Bro, as soon as you find that out, you let me know. I am not a fan of trios at all. I'm just not a fan of it, dude. We ruined our tag division.
Unless you want your wish. Unless you want your wish, which will come, I don't know, of FTR and Punk.
That would be good. Could we see
I think
Conrad? I know you're still in the chat. Can we see Punk at Revolution? Do you think it's a possibility? Do you think it's a possibility that Punk comes back at Revolution if the Elite defeat the House of Black, and then Punk and FTR show up at Revolution to declare themselves the next challengers?
Do you want him to go after that, or do you want him to go after MJF? That's the bigger thing. What would you want?
I'd rather see him against the Elite. There's money to be made there.
Well, so is MJF. That was the big.
Yeah, but we can get back to that. I'm just saying. I don't know.
The
Hold
TK
up.
announcement.
TK announcement predictions. It's either going to be about that show that new show that they had gotten.
Trademark AEW Collisions. But could be something with, like I said, it's either that Ring of Honor with the whole television thing going on. If you want to throw a wild card, I guess if you want to throw Punk in there, but I doubt it.
That's the wild card. That's the best case scenario.
I think he has like 1 or 2 months on him and he'll be back. Like he'll be good to go. But I know he's been working out. I haven't, and I'm surprised.
So he said, I think it's too early for Punk unless there's no physicality. I don't think there has to be physicality. Show up on TV. Look, Austin worked with that broken neck forever.
And he
Kurt
did
Angle
this
with a
little
broken
interview.
freaking neck. You know what I mean? Like they've all worked with it.
They could squeeze that, have him be on videos for a number of weeks if they wanted to.
Trevor says, Facebook user, you there? For a real Facebook user, man. I don't know if we might stream on Facebook again. I don't know. Everything Pro Wrestling says I could see Double or Nothing at the earliest. All Out marks it 1 year and Punk's fully healed. Everything Pro Wrestling also says, my guess, AEW UK location or AEW Fight Forever release date. Bro, I'm throwing my hands up right now. I ain't waiting for no AEW Fight Forever release date anymore. Every time they have like some sort of AEW games announcement or something like that, like I just don't see that. I don't know.
We have more footage coming up, guys.
Yeah, here's 15 seconds more of footage and no AEW Fight Forever release date, man. You're breaking my heart over here. I don't know, dude. Stacked card for AEW Dynamite.
I'm purchasing WWE.
2K23. 2K23 comes out next month, the 14th. If you pre-order it, I'm already going to pre-order that. Conrad, should I get it on PlayStation? Are we getting down on PlayStation if I get that? James, are you getting a PS5?
Like I said, I got to see where the money is.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, man. If you get a PS5, Conrad wants to get down, I'll get it for PS5. Chris Williams, that guy don't play at the same time as I do. He works overnights, I work daytime. It meshes, you know what I mean? It doesn't mesh well. So, yeah, I'm excited for these video game releases. We'll see what happens. I'm waiting for that release date. We'll see, man. I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up for it anymore. I'm excited for it, but I don't want to get my hopes up for it. So other than that, guys, this has been a fantastic stream. I appreciate every single person that has shown up to talk. Let me see here. I got it on PS5. That's what I'm saying. I know you got it on PS5, but are you going to be on when I'm playing? Like, that's what I'm saying. Are we streaming together or what? What are we doing? a collab of everything pro wrestling and the pro wrestling shoot on Twitch of me busting that ass in WWE 2K23. What's up? The challenge has been set. We just need an exception. Drafter says, I just wanted to play as Batista in WWE 2K23.
You mean Wardlow?
Yeah. Dude, that's Batista.
I walk alone.
Are you effing with me right now? Yeah,
to the
dude.
pit of danger.
He says, we will have to talk times. Man, I'm just talking about just playing in general. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know when your gaming hours are. I'll probably just pick it up on PS5. It'll be the first year I pick it up on the PlayStation. I usually rock it on Xbox Series X or the Xbox consoles, but I'll pick it up on PS5 just to play with a different crowd this year. Other than that, guys, this has been a fantastic. Hey, hold on, we need a GM battle. GM mode battle online. Yes, I'm down, dude. I'm down. They need to make that mode online so bad. So bad. He's like, I so bad in my GM.
You can be the raw GM, Eric Bischoff.
Steve Kelly says, I don't like trios titles. You're a little late on there, Steven. Yeah, man. Once again, fantastic chat. Guys, if you're listening on audio podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts, make sure to rate and review. And also join us in the live chat next time. I know times get busy, but we are live at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every single Tuesday, right, James? Every Tuesday. Yeah. We're not changing that date anymore. It's always going to be Tuesdays.
There is actually, I remember there was one more. Sorry to cut you off. The AEW Collision thing. I've heard that it might be something with New Japan. That's what I've heard, like a Forbidden Door thing. I've heard that as a rumor.
All right, that's good to know. Right at the end of the stream for sure, guys. Thank you so much, everybody that's in here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, share this podcast with a friend, like the video, and leave a comment right as soon as we end this stream. We will interact with the comment. That helps us in the algorithm. The more comments that are in the video, the better our algorithm works on YouTube. So, yeah, help us out, guys. Other than that, you can catch us all over social media. That is at the Pro Wrestling Shoot on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch, and on Twitter at TPWS Podcast. Once again, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're doing. Join the live chat next week. This was live. This was fun. How'd you feel about it, James?
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to dive in wrestling news. There's once in a while, there's no controversy, but let me tell you, we had a crap load this week. Starting from Living Nation Changer to Ariel Helwani and whatnot. It's
a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a big week in wrestling for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Drafter said, good live stream will come next Tuesday. I appreciate it, man. We will be very happy to have you for sure. Excited that wrestling is finally kicking back up. It's WrestleMania season. It's Revolution season. There's going to be a lot of stuff to come, man. Guys, don't forget to support our sponsors over at manscaped.com. Use that promo code PWShoot and save 20% off plus free shipping. It's not just about shaving your balls anymore, guys. It's about shaving your beards. Go and get that stuff. It is a good razor. I love it. I endorse every single thing they have. They got great hygiene products as well as shampoo and everything else. If you guys don't know, we have a merch store as well if you want to support us that way. Our merch store is in the link of the description of this podcast. Go and check it out. Go check out. I mean, we have tons of designs over there. There's got to be something you like. That's a good way to support. Another easy way to support, once again, is to just share this podcast with friends. That is the best way that you can do.
It's much appreciated.
Yeah, it's the best way that you can help us is by helping us grow in general. So it's not always about money with us. It's about fun and passion of pro wrestling. It makes our time doing this worthwhile, especially when we see you guys pop in this live chat. It means a lot to us. It was a lot of fun today. I appreciate it. I'm Jesse Carter. He is James Pinard Jr., and we will see you next week right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot.